Hello, my name is Luke and welcome to this Pytorch tutorial series. I just wanted to make a quick video showing you how you can get started with Pytorch and deep learning if you want to follow these tutorials in this series. If you don't have access to, say, a GPU yourself, or you don't have access to a computer that can train the neural networks, there were some comments and questions about what you could do if you maybe don't have a GPU or something that can train the later notebooks which require some compute. So in this video, I'm just going to show how you can use Google Colab with this tutorial series in the code, going from what to do from GitHub to actually getting this running in Colab. So the easiest way to get this up and running, you can kind of git clone to Colab, but because everything's in Jupyter notebooks, you can't really open multiple notebooks within the same Google Colab instance. So I think the easiest thing to do is to download this as a zip file first onto your computer, what I've done, and then just extract it. So download and extract this as a file, as a folder, so you'll have the folder there all extracted. So if you have a Google account, so assuming you have a Google account and you have Google Drive, you can get access to Google Colab. So once you've downloaded and extracted that, you can just go over to Google Drive, and I created an additional folder called tutorials here. You don't need to do that, but in that tutorials folder, I've, as you can see, just copied across that folder from my downloads, the extracted folder again, not the zip file there. And you can go into that and you can see I've got all the sections from the tutorial series. So there's a few things you need to be aware of when you're using Google Colab, and we'll go through an example of getting one of these up and running with a GPU or potentially a TPU on Google Colab. The Google Colab is free to use, at least the free level is free to use. There are other tiers which give you access to more compute and let you run your notebooks for longer periods of times than that, but you can have a look at that. But if you just want to use the free tier, that's enough for the notebooks that you need to use for this tutorial series. So I'm going to use this transfer learning example that I went through in a previous video. I won't really cover that here. So you can see I've got the IPython notebooks here. I've also got the scripts, some of the Python scripts which contain, say, the trainer class here. But what we're going to run is the IPython notebook. So we will need to copy this across into the actual environment. The easiest way I find to do that is to copy it directly from the computer. Google and Google Drive with Colab's not really set up to do this in an easy way. But anyway, I'll show you what does work. So if you click on these dots here, the more actions, open with Google Colab. If Google Colab does not appear yet, it's because you haven't installed it or connected it yet with your account. Just click on Connect More Apps here. You should get the little work marketplace here, and you just search Colaboratory, Google Colab, and it'll have the install here. So I've already got it installed, but you just install it there, and you should be able to use that for free as well. Okay. Once you have that, it's all set up on your account, you can then just open this IPython notebook with Google Colab. So as you'll see, it looks very similar to, say, just using Jupyter notebooks, Jupyter on this IPython notebook, and you can see our codes all there. So we'll run this in a moment. If you click on this button on the side, which you can't really see here, so this button here, the files there, you can see this is our basically home directory for our little virtual machine with Google Colab. And note that anything we need to run this Jupyter notebook needs to be here. So Google Colab kind of assumes this IPython notebook is running here in this level directory. But as I mentioned, we have this trainer module that we need to import. Even though it's in the same folder with Google Drive, this IPython notebook doesn't know anything about Google Drive Google Drive at all. Can show you how later on you can mount your Google Drive and access your files through that. But in this video, I'm going to not worry about that and instead just kind of do everything manually. So that means is that any additional scripts or files or whatever we need to make sure we upload them to this local directory here. And the easiest way to do that, what we're going to do here is just copy them directly from my computer just by drag and dropping them into that directory there. You'll see you get this warning. Once the runtime ends, your Colab runtime ends, it's just saying that any files that you have uploaded here will be deleted. So if you're saving things to this local directory, you need to copy them across to, say, your Google Drive, or download them onto your computer before it's terminated, because it's all just going to be deleted. So okay there. Once we've done that, there isn't too much we really need to modify for this particular notebook, because we are using the STL10 dataset, which will download into this instance, so you have access to the internet through Google Colab. Just some things I might change is this initially assumes that we're within the nested directories for the actual tutorial series directory structure, but we don't really need to do that. So I'm just going to define it as just data sets, so it's not going to try and go up higher within my Colab instance here and create the directory there, just create it locally. Apart from that, there isn't too much more we need to do. Google Colab already has everything here installed already, so you don't need to do any additional pip installs. If you need to pip install something, you can just do exclamation mark and then pip install as you would normally by the command line or any other way. So you can pip install any additional libraries that you might need that Colab has not yet installed. The only other thing is using an accelerator. So if you go to edit and then notebook settings, you can see we have our hardware accelerator. At the moment, I think by default it'll be on CPU accelerator, but you can, as you see, have access for free to some GPU instances. You can see access to premium will get you access to even more or higher power GPUs for a certain amount of time. But for now, we're just going to click on T4 GPU. So it's a low-end GPU, but again, it is free to use. So click save, and we can now run our notebook as per usual. So see runtime here, we have similar to Jupyter Notebooks, run all. You also restart session and run all as you would expect with Jupyter Notebooks. So I'm just going to run this manually, and hopefully everything is all good. So stuff from checkpoint, let's train a model again. An efficient net. I think it's set up for a ResNet. I'm just going to change this back to ResNet. 18. GPU index 0. There's only one GPU, and we'll download the data set. So this will download the data set for us. I'll just pause here and get back when it's done. All right, so we've downloaded and extracted our data set. You can see here we've now got this datasets folder that it created for us, and the STL dataset is there as well with our testing and training sets. Okay, so we'll train a model, our ResNet model. We'll start with the pre-trained as well. Again, it'll download the pre-trained Pytorch weights for us, and we'll start from there. And I'll just show you how, once you've trained your model, to download it so that you can upload later if you want to continue training. So we've all seen this before, and we'll just run the training testing procedure here quickly, and so I'll get back when that's done. Okay, so almost done. I just wanted to show you up here, you can see our actual utilization of our GPU here, and while we're running, and you can see we were getting about 20 iterations a second. So if you were using CPU, it would have been quite a bit slower than that. So we finished training. See, we get our 90% accuracy from our pre-trained model, and we can see all our losses and everything there, and our accuracies. And then finally, we do our testing. So note as well, as our model was training, it also created this data directory here, which contains the parameters of our model. And as I mentioned, we're going to need to download that just by clicking this button here, download. And if we want to actually save this, because if our Colab instance does indeed stop because we close it or whenever our instance is gone, all of this information here is going to be deleted. And if you've wanted to save your model, you wouldn't be able to. If there is more interest in using Colab at a more advanced level, let me know. I can show you how you can connect Colab to your Google Drive account so that you can automatically save directly to Google Drive and whatnot. So there's things you can do. You can look it up if you're interested, but if there's enough interest, I can show you how to do that. So that's all I wanted to show you in this quick video today, how to get up and running with Google Colab. With the simpler notebooks, you won't need to copy the scripts across for most of them, but there are some in this series where you have additional scripts that you might need to additionally copy across, or some additional resources in the data directories and whatnot that you might need to copy across there. But that's it for now. Hopefully you found that useful. Give this video a like and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments if you'd like to see anything in particular in future videos. So thank you. I'll see you later.